Hey guys, I just wanted to make another update video for January 2024 on the 700XX. As you can see, we're missing a couple things here. Um, and I guess I'll start at the top. I painted the stock bars. I went to Duracoat and did their red anodizing. So you do a stainless steel base coat, and then you do kind of like a translucent top coat, and I think it came out really well. I think it looks very good. Definitely not the most durable finish out there, but for something that you can do with a paint gun in a shed, I think it's pretty good. Just installed some Galfer brake lines, or I'm in the process of installing Galfer brake lines. Went with the red color with blue banjo bolts, and one thing they don't tell you is these come with aluminum, or blue banjos come with aluminum banjo bolts, which is pretty sick. Shed some weight there. I've also got, I don't know if I showed this in one of the last videos, Magura hydraulic clutch, and I rebuilt this clutch arm here, so there's finally no play in there whatsoever. So pretty happy with that. This front end was pretty thrashed. These bearings right here were bad. I thought I replaced them at the beginning of last season, but I guess I didn't. And then also these bearings were bad. The shocks were trash. All the ball joints were okay. Tie rod ends are pretty sticky. Probably good, but they're gonna get thrown out anyway and replaced. They're all just chilling out in the bottom of that box. I'd show you, but I don't feel like dragging them out. And the A-arms were all dented and banged up underneath. The paint was gone. And it was going to be several $100s to fix and replace everything anyway. So I got in touch with Jed over at Roll Design, and he's hooking me up with some Lobo 2s, which are, I think, 3/4 on both sides, I believe. And I asked him for also a set of long travel Elka 3s. He said he just doesn't want to see me on that. He doesn't want... Basically, if you're doing a long travel kit, you shouldn't go with stage 3. The rebound makes a huge difference on the front end. Normally, it's a big thing on the back end, yeah, and I will be doing 4s in the rear eventually. But he said with the long travel kit, he just doesn't want to see me with the stage 3s. He doesn't want to put a machine out there that's going to be bucking through the whoops and water bars and have his name on that. So he actually hooked me up with stage 4 long travels on Lobo 2 A-arms, which that geometry goes back all the way back to the 250R. And the guy, he's super nice guy. He hooked me up with a 10% discount on the whole order. So literally, and then I'm also getting the arms powder coated. So I was going in expecting to pay $3,200. That's where my math had kind of eked out to, for stage 3s. And with the stage 4s and the arms, it came out to $3,200. So getting that rebound adjustment for literally nothing. And then it was another $100 to do powder coat, which I was planning on painting or doing powder coat anyway. So I'm a huge fan of that. Also, there was some rust on the frame, so I just hit it. It kind of looks... It sticks out a little bit, but I think once the bumper's on there and everything's on there and then it gets covered in about a week's worth of riding dirt, I don't think you'll be able to tell. But there was some rust here, so I wire brushed it down and just sprayed up over and everything, just to make it all look halfway decent. Repainted this hood here. Came out pretty good. I did... what did I do? I did a primer base coat to try and fill in some of the old sanding and scratch marks. You can kind of see there's a little bit of imperfection. I probably should have done another base coat of primer. But then on top of that, I just did some Rust-Oleum in blue. I don't know what shade of blue. And then on top of that, I did a Duracoat clear coat, because originally I had all Duracoat on this and was honestly holding up really well. But I ran out of that color, and Duracoat's very expensive. So basically primer, spray paint, Duracoat, top coat, and that was out of the paint gun too. I forgot, got new grips. I was doing a pretty gnarly wheelie, like a third gear wheelie going like 25, 30 miles an hour. And my grip literally just slid off the end of my handlebar. And I was like, no more of that. Those were lock-ons. Those were the older style lock-on that you can still get them, but they've got a few new designs now. I'm trying out these ones. So I'll let you guys know how that goes. Got the rest of the brake lines chilling out over here. Down here, let's get some light on here. I took off the brake pedal and I just milled some holes into it to try and make it look a little better, try and shed some weight, because this is a pretty beefy piece in here. And then back here, I also took this apart in here, greased that. This needs to get redone. This is my kind of insulation tape for this oil line that I've installed. It's like literally a finger's width from the exhaust pipe here. So I have the insulation tape, which worked out just fine. It just fell off. But it made it a season. So for basically a free mod, I feel pretty good about that. Yeah, so some other things. I guess we'll go back over here real quick. Towards the end of this off season goes until end of May, Labor Day weekend or whatever it is. I'm going to be putting on an auto tune because I have the Power Commander 6. There's nobody in New England will dyno tune a four-wheeler. I even went so far as to look at New York, and people in New York State won't even dyno tune a four-wheeler. They'll dyno tune cars, dirt bikes. I was even at the point where I was emailing them, calling them, saying, I'll take off a wheel, and you can put this on a dirt bike dyno. Nobody's interested. Don't know why. Don't know what went down. I guess Massachusetts cracked down on dynoing, and it seems like ATVs kind of got the brunt of it. But so basically my only option at this point to get this thing running 100% is auto tune. And I'll probably be sneaking in my O2 sensor right there. Got my mechanic. He says he can weld a bung into it. No problem. Other than that, tried polishing up the plastics. I made them look a little bit better. These are only a season old. But polishing plastics is very, very difficult. So I might take another stab at this eventually. Might paint this tank. I do like being able to easily see where my fuel level is. This is about half tank, believe it or not. But what I'd do is probably paint this in black and then just take some painter's tape and just have a strip going down so I can still kind of see my fuel level, but then it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. I think that'll look really good once I eventually do that. Other than that, that's where we're at right now, because this is going to be pretty big stuff. That's going to be the majority of the money, and then the auto tune is going to be the rest of it. Well, actually it's not. I just keep wasting my money on this thing. I got a new set of Kinda cutters outside the shed there, and I'm going to do a fresh set of DWT 190s. And basically my reasoning for that is then I can just have a full set of spares wheels and tires, because these are still decent. These still have probably like 60% life left on them. They work great as spares. They're both holding air just fine. But going into a new season with all new front end, making a little more power in the auto tune, I want to have fresh tires. So that'll be great. And then the other thing is I get flats a lot. 2 seasons ago I got like 5 flats, and then last season I think I got 2 or 3 flats, or I got like 1 flat in the season, then 1 flat in the off season back in like November. So I get flats a lot. So when I'm riding with side-by-sides, which is pretty common, my buddy has a Razor Pro XP. I can just throw a spare wheel and tire in the back. I'm also running some new fronts here. These are Whole Shots 23-inch GNCC or HDs or whatever. Pretty good tires on brand new 190 wheels. I was running the A5 wheels. They just don't hold up to this machine. I literally will ride 60 miles an hour down dirt roads for an hour straight. A5s just don't hold up to that kind of abuse. You need 190s on a machine like this. They get good traction. They're taller, give me a little more ground clearance, give me a little more rollover factor. I like that. I also just cleaned up the whole hubs and spindles and stuff, rebuilt my calipers. I didn't rebuild them, I took them apart. All the seals were good, they weren't leaking or anything, so I took them apart, got all the old fluid out, cleaned them up pretty good, and basically, yeah, I painted these hubs a while ago, just rattle can, and other than what's flaked off, which you can't even see anyway, they honestly have held up decent for just, I think I was like 20 or something when I did that. It was a while ago. One of my first paint projects. Retouched these little guards here, and yeah, just cleaned everything up, made sure the calipers are in good shape for the new lines, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments. See ya.